Before we jump into today's video, I want to give a quick shout out to our channel sponsor, Many Realms. If you're looking for Magic the Gathering and Magic the Gathering related supplies, be sure to check out ManyRealms.com. I'll post a link to their website in the video description, so be sure to go check them out. Hey, what's up everybody? How's everyone doing out there today? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG. And today we're going to do another round of Avatar. We're going to do a collector box opening. I did my first one yesterday, and honestly, for a property that I don't have any real attachment to, as far as I don't have a familiarity with Avatar. I really enjoyed the collector box that we did yesterday. I thought it was a lot of fun. I got some stuff that I was really excited to pull. Hopefully we see more of that today. So yeah, first go around was really good, and I thought, let's give it another shot today and see what happens. And with that being said, why don't we go and dive on in and let's crack some packs. So as is the case, again, we are in pre-release week. So while we will talk about pricing almost assuredly in the future, that is not today's focus. I find that I like to wait at least a couple of weeks until the set comes out, until people have a chance to get it in their hands, start playing with the cards before we start talking about pricing. I just think that it fluctuates just too much. It doesn't, I don't feel like it's a very fruitful conversation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we have a pretty good layout of the packs now, so this video today will probably be a little bit quicker than yesterday's, but again, I really enjoyed that first box. So here we go. All the good stuff at the top, and this is similar to, I think it was maybe Bloomborough, maybe Wilds. All right. Ooh, they start out with a Deja'vu, the Moon Slayer. It's an expensive Magus of the Moon, but the fact that it's a 2/2 menace and then non-basics enter tapped, maybe it has a chance to see play in red, mono red, but really cool rare that I'm excited to get a copy of. And then we're going to hit our source material. Our first one is the Earth Rumble Triumph, which is Return of the Wild Speaker. We pulled a couple of those in the first box. One was a foil. All right, next up we see Great Divide Guide. And that was that showcase frame. Each land and ally you control has add 1 mana for the color. That's pretty good. 2 for a 2/3 base stats. And then that makes each land, and he himself is an ally, so it taps for mana, and that makes all your other allies. Again, I think a pretty solid rare. And I will say that it's early in this set, but I'm really enthusiastic about some of the rares in this set and mythics. Waterbending's Restoration. So this is, you can see from the set symbol, one of the Eternal Legal cards. Airbender Ascension in the pack foil. Then we hit our land. Oh, cool. We got a Borderless foil uncommon from the set. So normally the first 3 cards will be Eternal Legal commons and uncommons, and then you'll hit the uncommons from the set and commons from the set. But in this case, we had a Borderless uncommon foil, which is neat. And then we hit our uncommons, True Ancestry, Waterbending. I will say there is an uncommon I am on the lookout for. That's that Shared Roots, which is, they basically brought back Rampant Growth. I, be honest, wasn't sure we would ever see in Standard again. Okay, into pack number 2. Pardon. We were fortunate enough to pull a Badger Mold Cub in our first box. That was really sweet. I would very much like to see the Wan Shi Tong, the bird spirit, mythic bird spirit. All right, Beifong's Bounty Hunters in the extended art foil. Pardon me. Oh, Sunbait Canyon. So we have a foil, foil source material, and it is a Sunbaked Canyon, very playable land. The only of these particular lands they put in the source materials, so that's kind of neat. That's a neat printing for Sunbaked Canyon. One of these the lands that actually does see some play as well. Oh, hey, neat! It's one of the field research versions, Rana and Shaw. Actually, I think this is really cool, and I do love the treatment. Next up, we have Bison Whistle. It's another one of these. Eternal Legal, and the last Agni Kai as a pack foil. All right, we'll go take a look at our uncommons and commons here. Throw the Eternal Legals in their own stack for sorting purposes. Okay, so we did get our first of the foil source material. So the ratio is, for those of you who are unfamiliar, you're going to get 1 source material per pack. It's always going to be in that designated slot. But about 25% of the time, they're foil versions. And just for frame of reference, yes, you can get the source materials and play booster packs, but they're about 1 in 26 packs. They're basically a little more than 1 per box. So they're very tough to pull in play boosters. So the fact that you're getting 1, and you cannot get the foil versions in the play booster boxes. So the fact that they're only 25% hit rates on something that cannot actually even be obtained in collector, I think that's going to add a solid premium to the foil version. So you're hoping to hit one of the big foils, right? That's kind of what it boils down to. All right. Next up, we have a great divide guide, this time in that showcase foil version. That's kind of cool. All right. I like the card the first time. I like the foil. Next up, we have Meteorite. I actually did see one of those in the first box. I'm hoping for variants. There are 61 of these. Now, you know, granted, you're going to get 12 per box, so you're going to get 12, hopefully different ones. But we've already kind of doubled up from the first box. We had a Meteorite and an Earth Rumble Triumph in the first box. Next up, Fire Nation Salvagers. Tale of Momo. And the Legend of Yang Chen as a saga. And that one does return transform. All of this kind of, there's a lot of cool, like they flip into a creature if they're still on the battlefield at the end. That's kind of neat. I do like that. All right. Roku's Mastery, Cathartic Reunion, Frog Squirrels, and Dragonfly, Master Paku, Judy. And that will do it there for that pack. All right. The real lottery is there are neon inks, and then there is like a headliner card, which is an Aang. Really, really super sweet looking Aang. That's going to be like a dream hit. The neon inks, I assume, will be also incredibly tough to pull. Their like pull rate is like, I think, less than 1% of collector packs. All right. Ooh, what do we got going on here? That is a Firebender Ascension and the Borderless foil. So no mythics yet, huh? I'm not counting the source materials because they're all mythics. Firebender Ascension Borderless foil, kind of neat. Into Clone, man, that's another duplicate. Clone being a duplicate. I had one of those in my first box. Yeah, I'd like to see more variants there, please. Earthbender Ascension. So there we got a Firebender, and this time we have an Earthbender in the non-foil version. Water Whip. Cool Whip. The Lion Turtle. Elder Cat Turtle. All right, sign me up. And then we got our Forest. Tundra Wall, Dire Sight, and then Flopsy Boomy's Buddy. White Lotus Reinforcements, North Patrol. And that will do it there. All right. Admittedly, off to a slower start in this box than we had in our first box. First half of the first box was pretty epically good. All right. A lot of ball game left, though. Let's keep this going here. We start off with a Lion Turtle, this time in the Borderless foil. It is neat looking. By the way, we are completely bereft of mythics so far. Let's not keep that going. Lion Turtle, so yeah, again, this is our Elder Cat Turtle. This in the Borderless foil version. This looks really cool. I like that treatment a lot. That looks really good. Next up, we have Warstorm Surge. That is yet another duplicate. Again, there are 61 of these, so you should at some point hit some variants, and we have had all duplicates. The Sunbait Canyon is the only thing we didn't hit in the first box yet. All of these we've hit in the first box. I would like to change that pattern very quickly. Hey, Aang at the Crossroads. Legendary creature, a human avatar ally. This is the 5-drop. Does Aang flip? Yeah, he does flip. Yep. Destined Savior. I think this is a really cool version. Pretty good value. Put that over there. And then Tale of Katara and Toph. Wow, this is my third great divide guide of this box. I mean, I like the card, but I wasn't looking for a playset. I'm going to be honest. Wasn't something I was seeking out. All right, let me hit our land. Match the odds, deny entry, Zuko's offense. So these are like, when I say Eternal Legal, they're like Jumpstart and Beginner box. Tigerdillo, Cruel Administrator, Lo and Lee. All right. Last pack of the first half of the box. Come on. Fire Nation Palace Extended Art Foil. So this is excuse me. Man. Got frog in my throat. This is the land enters tap. So this is one of the lands, the rare land cycles. Target creature you control gains firebending 4 until end of turn. So it costs you 2 mana, but then you can give a creature firebending 4, which will create 4 red mana during combat. Could be usable. Next up, prosperity. I think we hit prosperity in the first box too. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, I don't love that. And then Ba Sing Se in the extended art. Nyla Shirshu Sleuth. Hey, there we go. Sweet. Finally, man, I was like, this box has been not nearly as fun as the first box so far. Okay. Well, the 2 mythics I was most hoping to get, I got a Badger Mole Cub in the first box, and now we got Wan Shitong, the Librarian. This card is busted. This card is super, super good. So I'm really, really happy. And I think there's kind of something we'll notice here, so I'll put that over there. I'm going to sleeve that up in just a moment. Fire Nation's Conquest, Elephant Rat, Many Partings. Hey, there we go. And there's the uncommon we're looking for. Shared Roots. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. That is really, really good still. Energy Bending, Azula. Really, really happy with the Shared Roots and super happy with our Mythic Bird Spirit. So I was going to say, like, one thing that I noticed, because you get so many of the Eternal Legal cards in those first 4 or 5 slots, it does put, I think there's 20 mythics from the regular set, and it does kind of put a little bit of a premium on them, because I think in our first box, I think we had like 6 or 7 mythics that were non-source material, and I think 3 of those were the Eternal Legal, which there's some cool stuff there, don't get me wrong, but like then that means that's detracting from what you're pulling from the actual base set, which means you're probably getting like 3 to 4 base set mythics per box. So like I said, I think that sort of adds a premium on them because they're tougher to pull. So, all right. The first half of the box was, I'll be honest, a little disappointing, especially in comparison to the first box. That first box was really, really nuts, but at least finished on a high note for the first half with Wan Chitong. My biggest disappointment is the fact that I pulled all duplications so far from that source material. I hope that is not a continued trend in the second half. But as I say, a lot of ball game left. Let's get into our second half of our box here. I think those foil source materials are, at least from like a value standpoint, a feel-good standpoint, I think they are really important to try and hit something nice there. You should average 3 to 4 per box. Here we go, second half. We start off with an Aang's Iceberg. What do you do? Flash enchantment. When this enchantment enters, exile up to 1. Non-land permanent until this enchantment is about. Okay, Waterbend 3, sacrifice this enchantment if you do. Cool. You can use it of note. It enters, it exiles up to one other target non-land permanent. It doesn't say opponents. You could use it to save your own thing, which is kind of neat. Source material is Favored Visions, which is yet another duplicate of the first box. Wow, that's so crazy. And not, unfortunately, in a good way. All right, Avatar Destiny. That's a cool treatment. Oh, I kind of like that. That's neat. Next up, we have Overwhelming Victory. Hey, Firebending Student. Not unhappy about seeing another one of those. That is a sweet rare. I think this card has a real chance to see play. Mountain. All right, Coastal Piracy. That's a nice reprint there. We'll take that as a hit from that Eternal slot. Unlucky Cabbage Merchant. All right. Well, if we can get a little bit more from that source material slot, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, we have 5 packs left and we are on 1 mythic. Come on. All right. Next up, we have Katara Water Tribe's Hope. Foil Showcase. 5 for 3/3. Vigilance. Create a 1/1 white ally. Waterbend X. Okay, that's kind of neat. That's pretty cool. Next up, we have Mayor Tong of Chin Village, which is Drannith Magistrate, and you guessed it, we also pulled one of those in the first box. That's crazy. Tectonic Split, kind of a neat card. Would consider playing. Waterbending's Restoration. I think that's the second one we've seen of those from this box. Azula, Cunning Usurper. Zuko, Seeking Honor. Fists of Flame, Cloud Shift. And then Uncle Iroh, Haru, Honest Work. And that will do it there. Huh. 4 packs left. All right, little art card. Hey, Fire Lord Azula. Sweet. So I think this is one of the borderless foil scene. And I think Azula's on the left, and I think Fire Lord Zuko is on the right, and they're like pointing at each other. And we actually did pull this version, so now I actually have the borderless foil set scene, which is pretty cool. I thought that was kind of a nice touch for whatever that's worth. Unsure which card or if either will be good. What are you, Grixis 4/4? I might as well read you, right? Firebending 2, whenever you cast a spell while Firelord is attacking, copy that spell. You may choose new targets. All right. Yeah, that is kind of cool. Huh. I like that a lot. And then we got a Sunbaked Canyon, which is not technically duplication from the first box, but it is duplication within this box because we've already clearly pulled the foil version, which we saw some of that in the first box as well. We pulled 2 of the 3 foils that we pulled from the source material. We pulled in the regular version as well. So that was interesting. Momo's Heist as a borderless Eternal Eagle. Overwhelming Victory. I think that's the second time we pulled that. Spirit Water Revival as a pack foil. And then Deer Dog Turtle Seals. Neat. And into our uncommons and commons after that. All right, 3 packs left. Here we go. Start off with a Redirect Lightning. This does seem to be one of the rares from the set that people are excited about. And this is a foil show. I think it's a showcase version. A foil showcase version. Redirect Lightning. So it is a 1 mana red instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, either pay 5 life or pay 2 colorless mana. So it's either 1 red mana and 5 life, or 1 red mana and 2 colorless. Change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. That is definitely going to see some play. That is very cool. So I do expect that to be one of the rares in the set that people are at least initially chasing. All right, next up, we have a foil source material. That is Cruel Tutor. There's 2 reasons I'm laughing. Number 1, the giant face is ridiculous, and I love it. I love it for it is ridiculous. I hope you all are willing to admit to yourself, if not to me, at least to yourselves, that this is a ridiculous looking card. On the flip side of things, I think this is going to be a really sought after card, and we actually pulled a foil version of this in the first box. The duplication has been wild, and I don't know, this is literally the second box I've opened, so I couldn't tell you if this is going to be a theme of these, something to expect. These boxes came from the same case though, so that is absolutely crazy to me, but I think this is going to end up being a hit. So Cruel Tutor was originally I believe a portal card, and if I'm not mistaken, which I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think it's correct, it's only had one other reprint prior to this, and it was on the list from like old set boxes. So it got sort of like, I would call probably even a soft reprint, right? It wasn't actually officially reprinted in the set. So this is sort of the unofficial first reprint of Cruel Tutor, and then to the best of my knowledge, it might actually be the only foil version available of Cruel Tutor. It's weird, but I love it. The fact that I pulled 2 of these is kind of bonkers, actually. Like foil especially. Like it's one thing to pull them, and then it's another thing to pull the foil versions again, which are going to be, I think, pretty exceedingly rare. Wow. I cannot believe we pulled another of that card. Hakoda's Selfless Commander. All right, Seismic Tutelage. White Lotus Tile. Hey, we finally pulled another mythic. Man, the 2 mythics we pulled from this box that were not source material have been from the pack foil slot, which is absolutely wild. Like you're probably going to get 1 per box, question mark, but like getting 2 seems uncommon. All right, Forest Zhao again. Zhao, the Seething Flame, Freedom Fighter, Fire Nation, Ambushers, and hey, Badger Mole. I wouldn't mind seeing another Cub. The second foil Cruel Tutor is crazy. Okay, we have 2 packs left. At least the second half of this box is showing up, even if it is unhinged. Okay, 2 packs left. Where we've really struck out is in that first slot. Like this first slot right here, which is where there's going to be like the goodies, right? I think if there's going to be a huge hit, it'll probably be aside from the source material slot. Wouldn't mind seeing a mythic here. It is not a mythic. It is Avatar's Wrath. Card has a chance to see play. The extended art foil version of Avatar's Wrath. Source material. Insane. Okay. We did this in the first box. So now we've doubled up. We have a non-foil Sunbaked Canyon and the foil Sunbaked Canyon. We have the foil Cruel Tutor and we have the non-foil Cruel Tutor, which is exactly what we did in the first box. So at least 2 out of 3. And by the way, we only have 1 pack left, so we're only at 2 source material cards. Hey, a mythic. It is a borderless mythic. It is United Front. I think the art style on this is very cool, and I'll be curious to see if this card actually sees any play. It is sort of neat. I wish it was 1x or instant, right? If you're going to make it sorcery speed, then I think it should have been 1x. That's just me, though. But it at least is another mythic, which we kind of sorely needed. All right, Zuko Avatar Hunter. Momo Friendly Flyer. Little Plains action. Scarring Memories, Warship Scout, Dramatic Reversal. And into our commons and uncommons and commons after that. So that's really interesting, right? I mean, here we go again. The Cruel Tutor thing, man. All right, here we go. Last pack of the box. It is a mythic. We finally got one here. Come on, be good. It is. Yes! All right. That is really helpful. That is beautiful, by the way. That is a borderless foil Wan Shi Tong Librarian. I am really, really excited about having pulled another version of this. Probably the most boss version of this card, I would imagine. Very, very happy there. That really helps things. All right. Love to see that. Oh, and another foil source material. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, sure. Okay, so, and then yet another, we had an Earth Rumble Triumph, and we have a foil Earth Rumble Triumph. So that is also the second foil one of these I've gotten in the 2 boxes, and we'll break that down in a second. Chakra Meditation. Azula, Ruthless Firebender. That is a mythic from the Eternal slot. So actually, for all the things I said about the first box, that's actually our first mythic from as an Eternal card from this box. Interesting. And then we're going to conclude with a May Scornful Striker, which is a really good rare from the set. Actually, the second pack foil May we've pulled in 2 boxes as well. Although that is not a complaint for me because I think this card is quite good. Cracked Earth Technique, Komodo Rhino, Aardvark Sloth. All right, Professor Zay. And that is going to do it there. So, what I am going to say outright that I am pretty unhappy about, if I'm being completely honest, is I don't think I got, aside from the Sunbaked Canyon, every single one of these, Meteorite, Clone, Warstorm Surge, I'm pretty sure Prosperity, Fevered Visions, and Mayor Tong of Qin Village, which admittedly is Drannith Magistrate. It's not a bad card. It's a very good card, a very messed up card. But I got an Earth Rumble Triumph. I got all of those in the first box. So the Sunbaked Canyon from the source material slot was the only non-duplicate that I got from my first box. Every single one of these I saw otherwise. Now, on the flip side, if you're going to pull a Cruel Tutor and then proceed to pull a foil Cruel Tutor, a non-foil Cruel Tutor, and a Cruel Tutor, like, I have to imagine that's probably not going to be a bad place to be from a value standpoint at some point for all the things I just said earlier. But this is not awesome. Okay. Mythics, we saw, I think, at least one less. I believe we had at least 6 mythics. Albeit, boy, pulling that borderless foil Wan Chi Tong and the regular foil version of it, uber excited about that. In the rares, obviously, who knows what's going to see played, what doesn't, but if you're going by pre-season hype, if you will, Redirect Lightning, Firelord Azula being that second scene card, some other stuff in there, the Zhao the Moonslayer. There's some other neat stuff in there. So I'm not completely discouraged by this box. The second half of the box, the fun thing is the first half of the box was pretty mid, and the second half of the box really came alive, and that was the opposite of the first box. The first box, we had a really stellar first half of the box, and then it toned it down in the second half. So I don't know, maybe that's the paradigm shift. Maybe that's the duality of these avatar boxes. But anyways, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me. Hit the like button for me. And by all means, drop me some comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, everybody. And be well.